Okay, so moving on to task number 3 in database. Okay, so for this, we will be using Microsoft Access. Okay, so let's go through the question. It says you are now going to prepare some reports for the science department. Make sure all currency values display the same currency symbol and are set to 2 decimal places. Okay, this is important to remember. Using a suitable database package, import the file m21stores.csv. Okay, so as I told you, I'll be using Microsoft Access. So I come into start, I type Access over here. I'm going to open up Access and I'm going to tell Access that I want a blank database. Okay, and then it asks me, okay, what is the name of your database? It doesn't matter right now because the question paper has not told me the name of the database. Okay, so for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click over here and I'm going to ensure that my database is saved along with my other data files. Okay, so I click over here and then I choose my folder from here, which is over here. And I'm keeping all my data files over here. My answer files are all with my other data files over here. So I click on OK, and then I click on create. So now the database has been created. And now what needs to happen is you need to import this particular CSV file into Access. Okay, so as you can see, this file is over here. What was the name of it? M21 stores. It's over here. You need to get this into Access. Okay. However, getting it into Access is not so easy. There are quite a lot of steps that you have to go through. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to go into external data and you need to tell Microsoft Access you have a new data source. So you click on this and you say you want to take it from a file, and the type of file is a text file because it was .csv, right? m21stores.csv. So it's a text file. So you click on text file from over here. And now you have to browse where they are saved. So you click on browse and now you have to find where it is. So for me, it's on the desktop. It's inside 2021 March 21. And here we have M21 stores. And I'm going to click on open. And then I'm going to click on OK. So now it asks me, okay, how is your data separated? Okay. So over here, you can say characters such as commas or tabs separate each field, okay, which is correct. You can say product, comma, product code, comma, supplier code, comma, available, comma, net. So you can see the commas is what separating the columns, okay. So I'm going to choose this delimited. I'm going to stay with it, and then I'm going to move on to next step. Then over here, again, they're asking me, okay, so I say, yes, it's comma, it's a comma. And also I have to ensure that I tick this, which means the first row contains the field names. Okay, so product code, supplier code. These are field names. These are not data to be used in my database. Rather, these are simply field names. So I click on next. Then over here is where I need to spend some time, which is I need to ensure the product is text and the product is short text. That's good. Product code is also text. Supplier code is also text. Okay, that's good. The next thing is available should be a numeric or an integer. So available is a long integer. That's good enough. Net price is supposed to be numeric or currency. Okay. So for now, I'm going to keep it as a decimal value. That's all right. Or I can choose currency over here. There you go. I have chosen currency. The next thing is minimum stock and reorder number are both, what do you say, numeric values. So let's scroll over here. Minimum stock and reorder number. Minimum stock, okay. So it's a numeric value and reorder is also a numeric value, integer, okay. So let's click on next then. And now we're going to choose our primary key. So according to the question paper, they have told us that the product code should be the primary key. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to choose product code to be the primary key, okay. So we click on next again, okay, import to table, this is the name it's going to have, no probs. And then I click on finish. And then it asks me, do you want to save these import steps? For now, I really don't need it. I'm going to click on close. So now you can see my data has been imported. And over here, I have the M21 stores table. So there you go. I open it up. And over here, I have all my values. Right. Moving on, it then says, save the data. So it's already saved. I'm just going to click on save. And then it tells me, take a screenshot to show the primary key, the field names, the data types used in the table, and place this in your evidence document. So this is evidence number 4. So if you want to see all this information, you cannot see it in this particular view. So you will have to change the view into in the home tab. You have multiple view. You have 2 views that you can choose from. You need to go into design view. So now you come into design view. Now you can see the primary key is there. The field names are there. The data types are there. Okay, so you can take a screenshot of this particular view. So Windows Shift S, and now it goes into screenshot mode. and you can take a screenshot of this area, go into evidence number 4, keep the cursor there, Control V to paste. Okay, so you have now pasted your screenshot. The next thing that needs to be done is, apparently there is another table that needs to be imported, which is called M21 suppliers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my database. I'm going to go back into datasheet view. And then what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to go through that whole journey of importing the data. So external data again, new data source, from file, text file. Okay, I'm going to click on browse. And this time the name of the file is going to be suppliers. So I'm going to take suppliers from over here. Okay, suppliers. Click on this, click on open, say OK. Once again, commas will be separating each field. So we say next. Once again, first row contains the field names. On next. Okay, once again, let's now over here in this particular suppliers table, they haven't given us the data type. So I'm just going to skip this part. Okay, I'm just going to skip this whole part. Next. Now I'm going to choose my own primary key. Now for primary key, the question paper has told me supplier code should be the primary key. So let's come over here and I'm going to choose supplier code as my primary key. I'm going to click on next. I'm going to say finish. Do you want to save these import steps? Not really. Close. Okay, so now I have the suppliers table also over here imported successfully. Question paper says save the data. Take screenshot evidence to show the primary key, field names, and data types used in the table and place this in your evidence document. So once again, as you know, you cannot take this screenshot in this view. You will have to come to the home tab. You will have to change the view into design view, and you will have to take a screenshot of this view. So Windows Shift S again. Okay, and you take a screenshot from here to here, and you will have to paste this under evidence number 5, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check again and confirm. Yes, this does come under evidence number 5. Okay, so now next we are going to move on. We are going to move into question number 14, where we are required to create a data entry form. Now moving on to question number 14, where they have asked us to create a data entry form with all the fields in the supplier table to display one record at a time. And they have also told us what type of a data entry form they want and apply 4 features to this form to make the design user friendly. So let's go into the suppliers table. Let's go back into datasheet view. Right now we are on the suppliers table. I'm going to click on create and I'm going to click on form wizard. Okay, so I'm going to go into form wizard. And over here, the question, so the first thing that the form wizard is asking me is what is the fields you want, which fields do you want on your form? So the question paper clearly told me all the fields. So I'm just going to click on this button, which is going to get all the fields over here. Then I'm going to click on next. And over here, they clearly told me they want a columnar form. Okay. If you look at your question carefully, they clearly mentioned it should be a columnar form. So we choose columnar. Then we click on next. Okay. What title do you want for your form? So with regard to title, they didn't really give us a title. So I'm going to keep the title as it is, M21 suppliers. And I'm also going to modify the form because there are 4 features that I need to put into place to make the form more user-friendly. So I'm going to click on finish. And as you can see, my form has been created. Okay. And right now I'm in design view. Okay. So this is a good view for me to, modify my form. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is the form fields. Okay. The form fields, the field headings. I'm going to make them bold. I'm going to make them a little bigger. Okay. That's the first feature that I'm going to do. So I'm going to select all of them at once. So I'm going to hold on to the control key and I'm going to click on every field heading. Okay, so I'm holding on to control and I'm clicking them. So they are all getting selected. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the the format tab. And in the format tab, I'm going to make it slightly bigger, maybe size 14. And I'm going to make it bold. Okay, right. So now let me show you how it looks. Let's go back into form view. You can see this looks much better. Okay, so that's feature number 1. The next feature that I'm going to do over here is I'm going to have 3 buttons. Okay, I'm going to have 3 buttons, each button performing a different action. So over here, I have my form footer is taking up all this space. I'm going to pull it down so I have more space for buttons. So now I have space for 3 buttons to draw over here. So when I come into the form design tab, over here you can see we have different tools that we can use. And if you come to tool number 4, you can see tool number 4 is a button. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to draw it over here, somewhere over here. And what is this button going to do? So I'm going to come to record operation. And this particular button is going to save a record. So when I click on it, it's going to save it. So I click on next. I would prefer a picture. Next, what is the name of the button? It really doesn't matter. You click on finish. So now you have a button to save your records. I'm going to add one more button, and this button, for example, can be for printing. Okay, so I'm going to draw it over here. I'm going to come to record operation, and I'm going to say I want this button to print record. So we click on next. You want text or picture? Picture is always better. Next, and we click on finish. So now I have a button for printing records as well. And then I'm also going to have one more button so that I complete the 4 features. And this particular button will go to the, let's say, we'll go to the last record. Okay, we'll go to a new record, open form, create. Which one shall we go for? Oh, add new record. We'll go for add new record. When I click on this button, it gives me a blank form to add a new record. Okay, so I click on next. I want a picture. Next, finish. Okay, so I have 3 buttons over here, and I change the field headings to bold. Okay, that makes it 4 features. Moving on then, moving on to the next part. It says use the form to enter this data as a new record. So right now we are in design view. Design view is where you can make changes to your form. Okay, or you want to enter data. Now, so for that you will need to go into form view. So now when you're in form view, I need a new record. There are 2 ways of doing this. One is you can come and click on this particular arrow with a star here to get a new blank record. Or the next thing that you can do is you can click on this button over here, which would give you a new blank record. I'm going to click on this. Okay, so now I have got a blank record over here, and I'm going to start entering the data. So number 1 is the supplier code is TPS. The company name is Tawara. I think if I can copy and paste, it will be much faster. Control C, Control V. Address over here, we have this, Control C, Control V. Then over here, address 2, we have Control C, Control V, and town, and postal code. And then we have telephone. There you go. Everything has been inserted. So I'm going to click on the save button to save it. Okay, so click on save, and the data has been saved. And then the question paper tells me, take screenshot evidence of the form with the new record displayed and place this in your evidence document. So this is evidence number 6. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this, Windows Shift S, and I'm going to take a screenshot of this particular area from here to here. And I'm going to go into my Word document, and under evidence number 6, I'm going to paste it. So there you go. This has also been pasted. Then the next thing that needs to be done over here is it says create a one-to-many relationship between supplier code in the suppliers table and supplier code in the stores table. I need to connect these 2 tables. So before you do create a relationship, you need to first close all these tables. So I'm going to close everything. Do you want to save changes? Yes, I want to save changes. Close this, close this, close this. Okay. Now you can go into database tools and you can take relationships from over here. And remember, you need both tables in order to connect them. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to space them out a little bit. Okay. This is just for better appearance. That's all. It doesn't make a difference. And now they clearly told me supplier code in the suppliers table and supplier code in the stores table. Okay, so suppliers code in the suppliers table, I'm going to drag it and I'm going to drop it on top of supplier code in the stores table. Drag and drop. So over here, confirmation, yes, it's correct. And also do not forget to tick this box which says enforce a referential integrity. Okay, do not forget to tick this, and I click on create. Now you can see the relationship has been created. It's a one-to-many relationship, which means one supplier can have many stores buying from them. Okay, right. Place in your evidence document the screenshot showing the type of relationship. So very simple. You just take Windows Shift S, take a screenshot of this particular view over here, and you come over here to evidence number 7, and you simply paste your screenshot over here. Right. With that, then we move on to the next part. It says using fields from the suppliers table, create labels which show only the records where the company name contains Tawara, are sorted in ascending order of company name. Okay, so right now you can see we are supposed to extract data based on a criteria, and that criteria is we are only interested in records where the company name contains Tawara. Okay, so to do this, we are going to produce a query. Okay, so I'm going to go into my database and I'm going to go into create and I'm going to go into query design. So in query design, I'm going to close this property sheet. The first thing it asks me is, okay, which table do you need? So the table that I will be working with is suppliers table. So I'm going to take the suppliers table from here. Now the next question is, before we put criterias, I need to know which fields am I supposed to show. So if you listen, if you go through your question carefully, you can see it says over here, show only the fields company name, address 1, address 2. Let's get that. Company name, address 1, address 2, town, postal code. So you have the town, you have postal code, and telephone. So you have telephone. Okay, so let's double click and take these two. Okay, so I have got all the fields that they have allowed me to show. Now, in terms of the criteria, the first criteria was company name contains Tawara. So we have company name over here. My criteria is going to go as such. It says contains, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put double quotes, and inside my double quotes, I'm going to put an asterisk, Tawara asterisk, which means contains. If I put Tawara and asterisk, it means beginning with Tawara. If I put asterisk and then Tawara, it means ending with Tawara. Is it clear? So question paper told me containing Tawara, which is why I have put Tawara in between two two asterisks, and you know the reason for the double quotes is because this is text. Okay. Moving on to the next part, it says it should be sorted in ascending order of company name. So we have company name here, and I'm going to choose it to be in ascending order. Right. So I think my criterias are done. So I'm now going to execute this. I'm now going to convert this into information. So query design, and I'm going to say run. Okay, so these are my results. So these are the suppliers where the company name contains the word Tawara in it. Okay, then it says use this selection to produce labels which are arranged in 2 columns and 4 rows with 8 labels. Okay, to the page with the page. Okay, so a lot of information over here. Okay, but what we have understood now is we are supposed to convert this into labels. Okay, and the size of the labels should be 99 millimeters by 67.7 millimeters. So let's go into database. Let's go into our database and let's say create. And over here, I need to convert these into labels. Okay, so create. I'm going to choose labels. Now, first make sure you're in the correct query because I want this particular query to be converted into labels. So I click on labels. Okay, they're asking me, do you want to save the query? Yes, let's save it. Let's keep it as query 1. And now, if you remember, the question paper told us this is the size that we need, 99 by 67.7 millimeters. Okay, if you look over here, this is the exact size that they have asked me that I have got over here. Okay, the name of it is, the product number of it is Every J8565. It might take some time for you to find it, but since I used this recently, I found it. I mean, it's there right at the top for me. But if you are doing this for the first time, you may have to search for it. You may have to scroll all the way down to find it. Okay. Right. So I'm going to click on next. I'm going to click on next. The font name, the font size, that they haven't really mentioned anything. Okay, they have only mentioned 2 columns, 4 rows with 8 labels to the page, but font name, font size, that they have not mentioned. So I'm going to click on next. Now, what's the order? Okay, what is the order? So the order is company name, address 1, address 2, town, postal code, and telephone in this order, each on a separate line. Okay, so let's take each of them. Then enter the next one, enter, next one, enter, enter, and next one. So I have got each of them on separate lines. Now we click on next. Okay. So the sorting, we already did the sorting in the query itself. So we don't need to do the sorting over here again. Okay. In the query itself, the sorting was done. Okay. So we can click on next. What name would you like for your reports? The name should be what? Approved supplier. Okay. So let's put the name approved supplier. Approved supplier. Okay. So have your name, center number, and candidate number on the left or at the bottom of each label. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to modify the label design. So let's click on finish. Okay, so you can see over here what I'm going to do right now over here is I'm going to come to report design. I'm going to take a label, neatly draw it over here. Okay, and over here, what do I need to put? I need to put the text, name, center number, and candidate number. So my name, center, and then my candidate number. Okay, so let's have a look at how it looks in report view. So in report, oh, we are missing the heading, isn't it? So let's go and insert the heading as well. So I'm going to pull all these down. I'm going to select all of them by pressing shift, click, 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 and I'm going to bring all these down. And then over here, I'm going to put another label, and this label is going to say approved suppliers, and I'm going to make this rather big. Okay, so let's go to the format tab. Yeah. Okay, let's make it maybe size 14. Let's bold it. That's also done. Okay, let's have a look at it. So in the home tab report view, you can see every one of them is having approved suppliers. Okay, save and print your labels. So we can go ahead and click on save. And for printing, you can say Control P, and you can go ahead, choose your printer. You can say, okay, it would start printing. Okay. The next thing it says is, okay, make sure you have a name, candidate number. So this is all done. Okay. So we have come to the end of this particular question. We now move on to the next one, okay, which is a rather long question. Okay. Right. Let's get started with this. Using fields from both tables, produce a tabular report. Okay. So we're going to get started with this one by one. We'll go in it. We'll go through it. So it says over here, contains a new field called order value, which is calculated at runtime. This field will calculate the value of the net price multiplied by the reorder number. Contains a new field called order now, which is another calculated field. Okay, so you can see over here, select only products where the supplier code is TES and order now is -1. So you can see again, they're talking about extracting data based on criteria. Okay. So you can't directly create a report. Okay. You will have to first create a query and then convert this query into a report. So let's get started with that. So we are now going to create a query using both tables. Okay. So let's close this. We are done with this now. We're done with this. We're done with this. Let's open both tables. Let's go into create and then go into query design. Okay, and let's take both tables, stores table, suppliers table. Okay, and let's pull this down so we can see all the fields. Now, what are the fields that I need? So over here, show only the fields company name, product, company name, and then I need product. Then what do I need next? Net price reorder number. Net price reorder number, which is over here. Then what do I need? Order value and order now. Order value. Is order value. Oh, sorry, order value and order now. I have to create those fields, isn't it? Right. So let's get started with this. So you can see we have a new field called order value, which is calculated at runtime. This field will contain the value of the net price multiplied by the reorder number. So I'm going to create a new field over here, and the name of this field is going to be called order value. Okay, let me increase the width of this so you can properly see. So I'm going to say order value, and then I'm going to put a colon. Okay, so this is the name of the field. And now I'm going to mention the fields that need to be multiplied in order to calculate this particular field. So according to the question paper, the fields are what? Net price multiplied by reorder number. So get your spellings right, open square brackets. Okay, net price, net underscore price. We have a field like that over here. Okay, and then close square brackets, asterisk, which means multiplied by. The next field is which one? Reorder number. Okay, reorder underscore N or capital N O, close square brackets. So that is also done right now. Let's move the cursor so you can properly see the formula. Order value is net price multiplied by reorder number. Right. And then there's another field that we need to create as well. And the name of that particular field is order now. So let's type it, order underscore NOW. Is, so we put a semicolon. I'm going to make this smaller now. Okay. And this particular field, the formula for this particular field is what? whether the number available is less than or equal to the minimum stock, min stock. Okay, whether the number available. So available. So where is the available field? We take the available field, which is over here. Available. Okay, should be less than or equal to which field? Minimum stock. Okay, so let's open that. MIN underscore stock. Okay, so over here we have it. What does it say? So let me make this, let me go over here and make this full so you can properly see it. Okay, so order now should be available less than or equal to minimum stock. Okay, right. So this field also we are going to be showing it. Okay, so we tick it to say show. Now there are two more criteria here. Supplier code should be TES. So where is supplier code? Supplier code is over here, all the way over here. So supplier code is not here. So we will be taking supplier code, but we will not be showing it. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, we will be taking supplier code, but we will not be showing it. So I'll be saying TES. I only want the TES suppliers. Okay, that's another criteria. And the next criteria is order now should be -1. So I'm going to come to order now, which is over here, which is the field that we will be calculating. And I want only -1 over here. Okay. So also, what does it say? So these fields we have taken it. Sort the data into ascending order of product. So let's go into the product column, which is over here. And let's say we want it to be in ascending order. Sorting is also done. And okay, now let's produce the data. Let's run it. Okay, so we come into query design and we click on run. And over here we have our results. Okay, now these results we need to convert into a tabular report. I hope you do remember these results. We need to convert into a tabular report now. So I'm going to come on create and I'm going to go through report wizard. Okay, so over here, computer is reminding me before you can convert this into a report, you need to first save the query. You need to first save the results. I'll say, yes, that's all right. Go ahead, save it. Query 2 is all right. And now I convert, now I'm in the report wizard. Okay, so in this report wizard, they're first asking me what are the fields I need. I need all these fields. So I pull all of them and I click on next. Now they ask me, is there, how do you want you to view your data? I'm going to keep it like this. Okay, we'll keep it. Which one shall we go with? Supplier or stores? So we'll go by stores. Okay, we'll go by stores because if you take it by suppliers, you can see the company name is going to be separate and the products are going to be separate. So we'll go by stores where everything is together. We click on next. Do you want to add any grouping? The question paper very specifically has mentioned to us that there should be no grouping. Okay, here do not group the data. Okay, that's also done. We're going to move on next. Sorting, we already did the sorting in the query itself. Okay, I hope you remember the product was sorted in ascending order. That was done there itself. So we click on next. Tabular, we want a tabular layout. Question paper mentioned over here tabular. And then orientation, we want it to be landscape. I hope you do remember as a page orientation of landscape. So we choose landscape from over here. Anything else we need to do? We click on next. What is the title you want for your report? The title that we want for this report is going to be Tawara University Science Stores. So Control C, we come over here, Control V, okay? And let's modify the report's design because there are a couple of changes that we need to make. I'm going to click on finish. You can see I have my entire report over here. Now, let me just quickly go into report view and see if all the data is properly visible. I can see there is a problem over here. There is a problem over here. So let me sort those all out in layout view now itself. Okay. So for example, net price, I can gently bring it over here. Okay. And this also I can bring it over here. So now I can bring this over here. I can make it a little bigger as well. And I can also bring this over here. I can take this up. Sorry, this one. Over here, over here. Now I can bring this over here. Okay. There you go. So now everything perfectly fits. Everything is properly visible. Let me go back again into design view. Now what does it say? Fits on a single page. I showed you it's now fitting on a single page. calculates the total of the ordered items and positions this number below the order value column. Okay, so over here we have the order value column. Okay, and here we have the order values. So I need to add all these values and place it below over here. Okay, so right below the order value column, I need to place the total of it. Okay, so I'm going to click on order value because this is the field that I want to add. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to go into the report design tab. Over here we have total. I'm going to choose sum. Sum means add the whole thing of order value and give it to me. So when I click on it, you can see it appears over here. The total has appeared over here. However, it is appearing right at the bottom. So I'm going to gently increase this gap and I'm going to bring these two down, take these two down, and I'm going to take order value, this total sum, I'm going to bring it right below this. Okay, so you will see this immediately. Okay, right. Then it says has a label net value of this order to the left of this number. So the left of this, I need to put a text that says net value of this order. So I'm going to come into report design. I'm going to take a label. I'm going to gently draw this label over here. And I'm going to say net value of this order. Net value of this order. Okay, so it's not big enough. Let's increase the width of it. Okay, that's much better. Much better. Right, there you go. That's done. The next thing is calculates VAT on the net value of this order at a rate of 20% and positions this value below the calculated value of the net value of this order. Okay, below the calculated value. Okay, so I need to calculate what is 20% of this particular sum. Okay, because 20% is the VAT amount. Okay, so I'm going to increase this space so I can draw another label. I'm going to select these two and take these two down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a new text box from over here. I'm going to carefully draw the text box over here. And this text box is equal to 0.2, which is 20%, 0.2 times, okay? And I'm going to open square brackets, okay? Why am I opening square brackets? To mention the name of this particular text box because I want to multiply 0.2 times whatever the value in this text box is. So I need to mention the name of this text box. Okay, this particular text box's name I need to mention over here. So I'm going to click on this text box over here and I'm going to go into the property sheet. And in the property sheet, if I come into the other tab, it gives me the name of this particular text box. So I'm just going to copy the name over here, Control C, and I'm going to put that name over here, Control V. Okay, so let's make it bigger so you can see it much better. Okay, so basically what did I do? Equals 0.2 times whatever this text box is. Okay, this is how I get 20% of the total. Now over here, you can see this is the name of the text box that I just created over here. I don't need it to be visible. I can delete it. Okay. Now, right next to this new text box, I need to add another label which says what? VAT on this order. Okay, so I'm going to take another label. Okay, and I'm going to draw this label over here and say VAT on this order. There you go. That's also done. And then with that, the title we have done has your name, center number, candidate number displayed at the bottom left of every page of the report. So we need to put it in the page footer so that it appears on every single page. So I'm going to take another label over here, and I'm going to draw this label on the left-hand side. I'm going to insert the text name, center number, and candidate number. Name, center number, and my candidate number. There you go. So then it says, so let's have a look at it. Let's see if it looks all fine. Let's come into report view and you can see it all looks fine. Reorder number seems to be a little not properly visible. Let's come over here and make this particular column slightly bigger. Control Z. Let's pull it this way. Seems to be a bit of a problem over here. Let's pull this somewhere. Now it's properly visible. Okay, right. So let's go to the bottom and you can see over here you have there are two problems over here that we are facing. Let's see what went wrong over here. Let's go into report view. Let's do this particular, design view, and let's do this part again. Okay, so over here, what went wrong? Let's try again. Let's delete this box and let's try again. Order value. I want the sum of it. Okay, the value goes over there. I don't want it to be there. I want it to be over here. And now we go into report view and it's giving us an error. Let's see what went wrong over there. So everyone, what we'll have to do is, you see when I come into report view over here at the bottom, it's giving me an error. So what I'm going to do is, if you do remember, when we created these values were going into the report footer. Okay, if you do remember, it was falling into the report footer. We were manually moving it up over here. So let's keep it in the report footer itself. Let's keep these values in the report footer itself, because apparently it seems when you change the place, it's giving an error. So I'm going to select all of these and I'm going to keep them all in the report footer itself. Okay, just like how it was earlier. Okay, and for now, only the this particular part, even my footer, I'm going to keep it over here, and everything else, I'm going to take it right up. Sorry, let's take these two up. Let's move these up over. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Let's gently move these up so we can reduce the space. Okay, and let's move this up over here. Right, now let's go back into report view. And now you can see it's working without a problem. Okay, so if the problem was when we tried and removed it from the report footer and put it in the page footer, that is where we had a problem. So keep it in the report footer itself. Okay, so then we have to take a printout. You know how to take a printout. Control P, then choose your printer and say okay. And the next thing that they have asked is place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the formula used to calculate the net value of this order and the VAT on this order. So for that, you will have to go into design view. So now that you're in design view, you can take a screenshot of this because the formulas are very clearly visible over here. Windows Shift S, and we take a screenshot from here to here. We come here and we have to paste it under evidence number 8. So Control V. And then the next thing that needs to be done is export the work created in step 17 into a portable document format, which is PDF. Save the exported file in your work area. So we are going to export this into PDF. Let's go into report view. Let's go into database tools and export external data, and let's say PDF. Okay, so make sure you're in the same folder and we say publish. Okay, so now we can close this. Okay, now in our folder you can see over here we do have the PDF of our report, and for this we are required to take a screenshot. Okay, to show the exported file. Okay, so I can take Windows Shift S. We take a screenshot from here to here. We go into our Word document and we paste it under evidence number 9. We have pasted that over there. So with that, then we have come to the end of data manipulation, which we did in Microsoft Access. Okay, I hope you have really benefited from these. In our next video, we'll be moving on to mail merge, where we will be again using Microsoft Word for this particular task as well. See you in the next video.